energy. And
Mm.
here we go. Welcome, welcome. Throat chakra tonight. This is exciting. This is a big one. This is a really big one. And it's so beautiful because it's the one that will really cause some big shifts to happen once we start to get this one balanced out. And it is so meaningful in so many ways when you think about the neck. It's kind of the bridge between, spiritual and physical, in that everything is like a big highway coming through our neck. And so there's a lot of information that can get sort of bottleneck and jammed up in this throat chakra. But the wildest thing is it's the things that we're often completely unaware of, or that we're really set in so long ago when we were kids. Um, when we think about the throat chakra, we think about, why would it be out of alignment per se? And I'll invite you to think about, stories that your parents would maybe be okay with you saying, in the house, but not outside of the house. Like you had things that you could talk about at your house, but there were things that, they just would really not be okay with anybody knowing. And we get this in our heads as kids as to what is sort of okay to be talked about and what isn't, right? So we get these sort of skewed points of view per se that come with us over such a long period of time. So think about some of those little stories that that you could say at certain places, or say at grandma's house, or be a certain way at grandma's house, but have to kind of act a different way, right? So many secrets. There are so many. And think of those secrets that you've never, ever told anybody. There's probably parts of you that truly nobody knows, like there's so many things that this area holds on to. And it's amazing because to not break confidentiality, I've had clients where there's been such crazy stuff that it manifested in a way that actually killed them at young ages, having to have not been able to say the way that they felt, having to not be honored. They kept everything so inside that it truly, literally on a physical manifestation came out in that way. And I mean, that is wild. And so how would you know if maybe your throat chakra is a little bit out of alignment? Well, one really interesting way to know is mouth health. We if we don't have good mouth health, if our teeth are brittle, if our teeth fall out, if our teeth are, in some way, not, whatever, just not up to snuff, not how they should be, there's an issue. That's often from the throat chakra being blocked. If there's phlegm, a lot of phlegm, postnasal drip, if there's sinus problems, ear problems, thyroid problems, and you go and you get your thyroid tested at the doctor's and it's perfect, and your teeth 4 levels are great, and they say, yeah, absolutely, right? So there's a weakness in some of that energy that's flowing in that throat chakra. So really weird way of being able to tell, right? But ear issues as well. If kids have ear issues, there's often things that we've heard growing up. And one of the biggest ways to actually block a throat chakra is to yell at a child, and to demean them, and to berate them, and to, like, when a child has had a domineering person, wah, 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 in their face, boom, throat chakra down for the count, right? Like that one gives me goosebumps. That domineering personality, it will cause such issues as they grow up, just with them feeling like they can be themselves, like them feeling like they want to be on stage. You see some kids, sometimes they get up for a few years, they're the cat's meow on the stage, they love performing, those little girls get their dresses on and they're ready to go to those concerts and ready to show off, but something happens somewhere along the way, and they become these little, you know sort of looking down little, they get these whole different personas about them, and they don't want to perform anymore. They're afraid to now. Why, how does that happen? You know, someone says something that just makes them feel dumb, and that's enough to sort of close off their throat chakra. Or, you know, they even say something accidentally to someone who it hurts them, and then they have a hard time sort of getting around that, and that will sort of get stored as little, like little micro traumas in this area, right? So one of the things that we do is we just kind of pack it all in there. We tend to not feel it. It's a very sensitive area. And when we're getting into the meditation, I'll urge you guys to almost think about if someone was to come up and just touch you ever so, like keep your fingers almost like an inch away from your neck. And, you know, if they were to just touch with their lip or their finger behind your ear, that sensitive, sensitive spot, it's such a, it's probably the energy center that you can actually almost stick your fingers in and feel almost immediately. So I want you guys to just, you know how we do, we get the energy sort of flowing in our hands. I want you guys to just right now. Oh my gosh, Sabrina, that's huge. See, and I have a best friend that we went to the States. We did this huge procedure. No parents knew anything, still don't know this. We keep these, like these, oh, these heaviness, these things that are just these precious treasures to other people that we've done, and we've just carried these all along, and they don't pop into your head again until something like this kind of brings it up, right? So for us to get our energy flowing, I want you guys to be able to kind of feel the energy around. So I love rubbing the hands together. Or one thing you can do is you can have one hand up and one palm up and one palm down, and you can just squeeze your fingers in. You kind of like fold your palms over like this. So you just have literally one hand, one palm up, one palm down, and just squeeze your palms. Just kind of go back and forth, squeeze your palms like this. Yeah. And then flip them over. Right? It's difficult. Just till your hands kind of start to tire. That's right. So you should be getting those nice tired hands. Now I want you to just, yeah, get your fingers out now and make the little ball. Can you feel that buzzy ball right now? It starts to buzz the minute you do that. It's quite nice. And I want you to take your little energy ball there, and I want you to just go close to your throat, and I want you to feel around your throat. I want you to feel that energy. I want you to feel, does it feel kind of ethereal? Does it feel light? If you were to just almost picture or feel the field around your neck, does it feel closed, cold, warm? Just take note. Maybe feel the back of your neck. Does it feel tight? Does it feel warm energy-wise if you're not to actually touch it, but just feel around? Just talk to your throat chakra for a minute. Give it a color. We know that blue is the color, but does it feel dark? Does it feel really light and airy and free and flowing? And can you feel the energy coming from it? I can definitely feel at the front, like there's a definite temperature difference. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually take our fingers. I love it. Did you know that humming is actually the way that we release the throat chakra? This is the breath work we're going to do today. Yeah. Humming is, because it's ethereal, because the throat chakra is on that fifth element, it's sound vibration. Its vibration is going to be what sort of opens it up. So that's exactly what the meditation is going to contain today. We're going to be doing a lot of humming, and it's beautiful. And some of the ways that we can sort of open up this throat chakra, I always like going through a few before we kind of get into the meditation, is truly humming and singing. So singing as much as possible, humming, literally allowing the head to almost vibrate. So when you're humming, you want to try and make the different sounds and tones that you're going to actually feel in your mouth and in your jaw area. So I love doing a little bit of just self-massage and this sort of nice neck stretch to unlock the vagus nerve. I love it. Starting to get a headache. Couldn't feel or see anything, just cold. So it's probably kind of just blocked. And that's it. That's exactly that. It's not that it's not that it should feel a certain way, but how does it feel to you? Is there anything flowing? Like, to me, I was actually surprised. It felt more open in the front than I thought it would. Yet in the back, it's very restricted and kind of cold. So if we were to look for where our throat chakra is, we kind of follow the little dip right basically where our collarbones are, and it kind of comes to that little sort of notch in the middle of your chest, just if you follow your collarbone down. So that's kind of where it is in the front, but in the back, it's actually at the back of the head, at the base of the neck. So it's a big area. It follows, if you were to put your hands at the back of your neck and just sort of push your head back, where that indent is, where that little fold happens, is basically where the top of the chakra is. So there's two little bumps. You have this occipital ridge right at the back of your neck, and there's two little bumps. And if you were to take a finger and sort of put it on each bump and just kind of lean your head back into that pressure spot, you'll actually be able to, this is called, it's basically called a still point, where all of the craniosacral bones rest on this point. So if you were to even have a pool noodle and you just rested your skull on this, you can feel those points if you just touch them. Like it's like they're like headache points, they're a definite spot. And just by rubbing them for like 10 or 15 seconds, you'll just release a lot of that muscle tension, and your skull bones can actually kind of go back to where they're supposed to be, because they're all attached by these tiny little suture lines. The lines in the skull, they're all little connective tissue lines, and they actually shift like puzzle pieces. So that's what craniosacral work is. When they're touching just the back of that spot at the back of your head there, just resting the weight in your hands, it will allow all those bones to just kind of shift back. And so it's a beautiful sort of pressure releasing spot. So whenever I'm doing throat chakra, I like to just have people just touch those spots for a moment. And then I encourage them to actually bring their fingers around to their jaw, because it's amazing, those spots in your jaw that are tender. If you just kind of rub down the outsides, where your jawbone is, and you just kind of rub along here, you'll feel all sorts of little lumps and bumps when you pay attention to what's in there. Even around the bottom, like if you were to try and just drag your fingers, it would be like bump, 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 bump. You kind of go over some little bumps on some of those really tight muscles. And then you can take your fingers and go underneath the jawbone, and you'll feel those same little bumps. And it's like there's lymph in there, and there's all of these little spots that are just sticky and stuck. And we simply drag our fingers down, and you sort of stretch that skin out a little bit and just sort of pull all those areas to get that myofascial release. You're actually doing myofascial massage on yourself right now. So you can take a little bit of moisturizing lotion in the morning sometimes and just kind of, drag along those little spots. And then as we're coming down and we're getting back to the ear, when we turn our head and you get that ropey muscle that comes all the way down, this is called your sternocleidomastoid. Okay, this is a muscle that attaches right at your sternum, which is your breastbone, your clavicle, which is this bone down here, and your mastoid, which is your jaw, which is right here. So this muscle is a big rope that attaches along those, and it has 7 whole trigger points in there. So if you were to take your thumb and your finger and you just work your way down that ropey muscle, just by gently pinching, you'll feel usually 5 or 6 tender spots in that ropey little muscle. That's exactly it. Good job. Get deeper into the actual muscle there. Yeah, there it is. Look how it's that big rope. Try and get your finger and your thumb actually wrapped around it a little bit. You'll feel it. It's this big, thick, yeah. There you go. You can even you can see it. It's like a big rope, and you can just sort of push along that and just massage a little bit. So we get some blood flowing through the neck, and it's like, whew, that feels so good. It brings some blood flowing up to your head again, gets things moving. And now this is the exercise. This is the one exercise that we do. So of course, pay attention to both sides, right? Because it's always, if it's tight on one, it's tight on the other. But the exercise is going to be to loosen up this muscle, which is why I wanted to have you guys touch it first so that you can see the difference. So the neck catches on that side. Interesting, hey? So when it catches on that side, that's usually because we have our neck down and forward. So that muscle will get shortened up a little bit. So this is what we do to lengthen it out. And this is what we're going to do to open up the throat chakra a little bit. So all we do is we're going to sit and we're going to have our shoulders just relax. So you can put your hands down at your sides if you want. And you're literally just going to let your shoulders drop, and you're going to bring your one ear towards one shoulder. Doesn't matter which one for now. Just bring an ear to a shoulder. That's perfect. Okay. So now relax your shoulders as much as possible. And with your eyeballs only, I want you to look at the ceiling. Look up at the ceiling, not with moving your whole head, but just moving your eyeballs. There you go. Just keep those eyeballs towards the ceiling as much as you can until you feel a stretch in the top of that, in the front of that neck. And just keep it up, keep looking up for about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, dropping the shoulders and just bringing your head sort of back around to neutral. There we go. That opens up that vagus nerve. So it's weird. Did you guys feel the difference when you looked at the ceiling? Like it really works the muscles. So we're going to do the other side now. So just dropping the shoulders again. Now bring your opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. Good. And then when we're ready, we're just going to start looking up towards the ceiling. And you can tilt your nose just a little bit, but look up mostly with your eyes until you feel that stretch. Come around under the ear, breathing, relaxing the shoulders. And really use those eyeballs, really point them up towards the ceiling for about another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And when you come out of that, make sure again that you just kind of drop the shoulders and let that go. Now, your ears will often feel like they kind of have to pop after doing that. So another thing you can do is pretend to yawn. So a lot of times we don't even have to pretend, but I encourage you to just make a fake yawn. And when you let it out, make a kind of a funny groan, kind of just be like just make a weird noise, just do a weird, goofy yawn. And what this is doing is this is just opening up that vagus nerve. Now, that exercise with when we're looking at the ceiling, we're actually using those intracranial muscles. And we're sort of teaching them that they need to work. They're the ones that can get kind of a little bit lazy. So when we start getting too stressed, that those muscles will just contract. So what this does is loosens all those intracranial muscles and gets your eyes, getting everything sort of ready to start releasing in and around the throat area. So that's one of the throat chakra techniques that have, as far as I know, have been studied quite a bit. I've seen it recommended probably in about 5 or 6 different courses than I took when I took them. So, and I liked it because it was stuff that I knew for massage therapy too. I'm like, yeah, totally untraps the vagus nerve and it gets that sternocleidomastoid to relax a little bit, which is huge because we want that muscle, we want that vagus nerve to be able to sort of switch off. It's the one that'll take us from that sympathetic to that parasympathetic nervous system. So that fight or flight response is all in there. So that's why we want to sort of open that up. Welcome, Chris. You were just in perfect time. We were just talking all about the throat chakra. So, of course, blue is the color that's associated with the throat chakra. The oils that I tend to use are things like, I have this blend called Whisper, which is absolutely beautiful. It's got a little bit of ylang-ylang, sandalwood, jasmine. It's very patchouli, sort of woodsy, hormone balancing, but pretty and sort of a soft soothing oil. You want to kind of use those ones that are going to ground you a little bit, not the ones that are going to bring you straight up into connection like frankincense or anything, but using things like sandalwood, just really, really grounding. They're going to kind of bring you back to that vibration of the earth. And that's going to sort of help you get into a really good meditative state. And it's also one that'll be able to, with the ylang ylang and the jasmine, they're oils of truth. So it sort of helps you to enable to keep that truth going. Because of course, the best and easiest way to keep your throat chakra open is by being your honest self, right? It's about your truth. It's about owning your truth. It's about speaking your truth. It's about being the authentic self that you are coming home to, that you sort of know that you are. And so when we want to really kind of get things shifted, this throat chakra is just so beautiful to be able to do. So all of our blue stones, blue azurite, turquoise, all these gorgeous stones, even blue jasper, like any kind of lupin, any sort of blue stones, even white, indigo colors, they're not going to hurt. You want to feel them, right? You want to pick one up, you want to feel it, you want to like it, you want to resonate with it. And, you know, some of those necklaces and those protecting sort of like the Tesla ones that a lot of us have, or crystals around the neck like this, can be just really good at helping you to stay to your true authentic self, to help you feel like you can kind of speak your truth and just keep those pathways really open. So those are some other things that we end up doing. Yoga poses, you want to look at, again, those chest opening ones like the camel pose, bridging. So those yoga poses look much like you're on your knees and you're bringing your arms back, and you're doing this sort of thing where you have your arms back on your ankles kind of thing, like you're actually really bridging. You're going to do your headstands, you're going to get right upside down, that kind of stuff. Really intense yoga for the throat chakra. You definitely want to so 2 fingers under. Yes, exactly. That's why a lot of people wear their Tesla just sort of right on their high heart. But for other people, if they were having, that's perfect. I haven't gotten one. I really want to get one of those. But there are a few different ones that you can use too, right? Like a lot of people have even just a little Merkaba that they have, but being protected around your throat is so huge, because it's also the information center going in and down to the rest of your body, as well as coming up from your body into the brain to sort of our energy systems are nothing but wiring, right? So it's literally bringing all that information back and forth. So if that major highway has any kind of congestion, this is definitely something that we want to clear out, because we don't want to have any congestion in this area. Because if there's going to be an area that's going to stop us, it's going to be this one. So we are going to dive right on into meditation, I think. We're going to do some humming. There is, yeah, you guys definitely, with the Tesla plate. Now, see, that's not something that I've used either, but I know that there's chambers, and I know a lot of people have used them. Does anybody want to speak to the Tesla plate? Like, have they been using one? Do you have one, Sabrina? No, hey. Do you have one, Jesse? You do, hey?
I just got the little plate, and I put that under the water because I've got the structure for the water. It's filtered, but it still does feel and taste very different with Tesla under it. And I've got this one. So I don't really know. I haven't really been able to feel within myself whether it does or not. I believe, like, consciously it does, but whether, I just sort of haven't got to the stage yet where I can feel within me.
Yeah, I don't know that everybody can feel it necessarily, right? How about you, Sabrina? Did you say you were going to say something? No, did I have you?
I'm guessing that I think Nikki has one, but I wasn't seeing who all was on.
You must have one, Nikki. Yeah. So do you enjoy it? Do you use it a lot?
Yeah, I wear it frequently. I mean, it depends on what I'm going to be wearing. If I have I don't wear it every single day, I have to be honest. but I do wear it on frequently. Yeah. I mean, I don't
Some
like
people,
to sleep with it on. I mean, people sleep and shower with, and like Chris doesn't even take it off. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't like that idea. Personally, I like to have free, be open, especially when I'm sleeping. I don't want
have,
something around
have
my
a little
neck. I
movement.
just, yeah, I like it. But yeah, I honestly, I mean, yeah, like Jason says, consciously, you just thinking, that it's doing its job. But I
Well,
don't
this
feel
is it,
anything. I
right?
have to be honest. It's nothing. It's not like I feel anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's more of a vibration thing. And for some people, they are super sensitive to stuff like that, right? So they would notice if they didn't have it on, or, they might really be sensitive to maybe having a worse day or a better day. But how much of it is in our thoughts, right? It's hard to say. I know it's measured, and it does have certain effects, but some days I think, man, it'd be nice to have like a whole house size one, just like
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Like put it under your feet as you walk, around the
it's
house.
true. It's
But you
true.
have to wear this for 24 hours, I think, 48 hours, 2 days,
Yes.
because it gets adjusted to your skin,
Right.
and that's
Right.
why it fits for custom for you. And that's
So
what
cool.
makes it nice and unique, because it's for you,
It's so
you
cool.
can't give it to somebody, let's put it like that.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, so we'll hop into meditation right away. Just trying to think of some of the other things that I wanted to share with you guys about. Yeah, hum. So our sound for today is going to be hum. And so that's the throat chakra sound. So basically, there's no right or wrong to it. If you can't feel it vibrating through your head, try just placing your tongue onto the top of your mouth while you're humming. You may end up feeling it a little bit more in that. So I'm just going to sort of get us into a nice relaxed place. We are just going to we're just going to go through a little meditation. We're just going to go through some thoughts and some feelings today. We're just gonna get right into it. I think it's such a, it's such a, the blue color. I almost feel like, that spot where water is a color and the sky is a color and they almost kind of match. It's like that's the color that we're sort of going for. We're just going to literally go sort of submerge ourselves in absolute blue light. I love it. YouTube on clear play constantly for a week. Oh, that's super cool. I haven't heard about that. I'll have to check that out, Jesse. And I encourage you guys too to do some chakra clearing YouTube sounds. Like just go, choose the frequency for the throat chakra kind of thing, and just allow yourself to sit with it and just breathe as well. A lot of this we're going to go straight into some really good solid breath work. We're not going to do anything crazy today, no breath retentions, but we're really going to just use our breath as the biggest focus today. We're going to sort of keep on coming back to our breath. And so what I'd like to encourage you to do is, if your monkey mind is going too much, if it's not enough visual and the mind is just going too much, I want to encourage you to use those thoughts that are coming up as thoughts that need to be coming up, thoughts that are sort of coming forward, just to kind of let you know that they're in there and to be treated and worked through. And I'd like you to think about them as almost like a cloud that's just moving through the sky. So we're literally just going to be in a beautiful, peaceful field. We are just going to be watching the sky, and we are just going to be looking at some water and just enjoying the colors. So when you guys are ready, I will have you take a nice deep breath with me, and we will just get nice and still with our breath. And I want to encourage you to really let sounds out when we're doing this. So when we're first taking a nice deep breath in, yeah, Nikki.
I really want to ask a quick question. When I'm
Absolutely.
sitting on my chair, I feel
Yeah.
like like I'm gonna fall off. Like I don't know if I'm coming or going with this because it's very deep for me. So I was gonna
Yes.
think, could I go down to the couch?
Oh,
Or do you
sure.
need to see me?
Not at all. Not
Because
at
I
all.
really like, I know this is very, very gonna be very deep for me, and I just don't want to
Absolutely.
like be like this constantly, you know, thinking
I
I'm
hear you. I absolutely encourage you to find the most comfortable place that you
gonna
can
I'm gonna
imagine,
keep my
and
video on. You won't see me, but I'll
from
be
there.
sitting
Sounds
on the
great.
couch, yeah.
That's perfect.
Cool.
So perfect.
Really?
You guys are
Okay,
awesome.
cool. Thank you. I
We
appreciate
want to see your beautiful self. We want
it. At this time, I gotta get into this. This is deep.
we want to see you with
Oh,
your
it's
eyes.
Thank you.
gonna be
Appreciate it.
beautiful.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yeah, no, by all means, get comfy. I love meditating lying down
Thanks,
just because
Tina.
it's a way to just kind of go somewhere, it's definitely not something that I look down upon at all. The honestly being the most comfortable is truly the best, because that's when you're going to be able to just be comfortable and just sort of allow things to happen. And if you fall asleep, it's like you still hear what you need to hear, right? So, and it's always on a replay, so you can always check it out again if you want to actually hear. I can hear my kids giggling upstairs and I want to yell at them to stop, but it's so cute that hopefully it's not too loud, and it won't be disturbing. If you guys hear cackling in the background, it's just two teenagers upstairs laughing for whatever. I'm not going to ask. We're going to go with it. It's good. We're just going to go with it. Oh, this is lovely. All right, my dears. So let's get into our breath. Let's just take a few nice deep breaths together. And when we breathe in, I'd love for you to just breathe in through your nose and out through that mouth, just allowing the tension to start just releasing from the body. And I want you to imagine that air that's coming in through your nose, that it's filling up your belly, it's filling up your chest, and it's actually filling up your throat. Just noticing your breath. And as you're breathing out, maybe there's a groan that wants to come along with it, where it's just not forced, just a gentle. I love it. And I want you guys to just get into that feeling of the breath for a moment, where there's nothing else there, just you and your breath. I want you to feel what it feels like coming in through your nose as it goes to the places in your body that it's needing to go. And I want you to imagine that around your whole body is this bubble or this membrane that's shaped just like you. It's just an inch away from your skin. And I want you to imagine that your breath is now starting to fill that small area that's right outside of your skin. Like you can feel it just wrapping around every little bone in your hand, every little finger. Just focusing on your breath moving down through your body and filling this whole membrane. And I'd like you to just imagine for a moment that this breath has a blue color to it. And this blue color is almost starting to transmute into your cells. I want you to imagine that this breath, this light is filling this membrane with every breath that you take in. And I'd like you to just imagine that coloration filling that membrane between your skin and an inch away from it. I want you to feel it as though it was your breath, just moving around your throat, moving around your body, almost like it's coating it in this beautiful light. And as you breathe in, I want you to notice that that light expands in that membrane. And as you breathe out, I want you to notice all the tension leaving your body. Try to imagine the light moving through your body and around your body until you notice that all outside of your body is all you can see is blue. It's as if the whole sky is just a beautiful blue that matches the ground, matches the water. You can see nothing but blue spaciousness. And I want you to make your body feel as light and as relaxed as it possibly can right now. Breathing out any heaviness, breathing out any tension. And I want you to just imagine the light focusing around your throat right now and starting to glow. Letting this blue light start to expand past that inch above your skin. I want you to feel it expanding maybe a few inches, maybe a little bigger. I want you to just focus now on your breath, coming into that area, allowing it to expand. And as you breathe out, just releasing any more tension from the body. And I want your breath to just coat with every cell and every sparkle. Just coat all of the darkness that's left in that throat chakra right now. And I want you to go back, way, way back, to when you were about 5 years old. And I want you just to settle into that time. I want you to picture you around 5 years old when you were really little and cute. The teeth were growing in and maybe getting a little awkward, but maybe look at the little shoes and look at the little outfit and look at the little child, the little quiet inner child. And I want you to go up to that inner child right now, just wherever you are. And I want you to just look at that inner child, at your 5-year-old you. And I want you to just whisper to them that you're listening, that you hear them, and that they can tell you anything that they want to. And they look at you because they've never actually heard that before, ever. But they know to trust it. And I want you to, for a moment, maybe crouch down to them, maybe hold them, but allow them to just tell you how they feel and just listen. I want you to just listen and hold them and take them into your heart. Bring them in as a part of you. And I want you to feel your neck right now, getting back into your breath. I want you to feel as your neck elongates just a little bit. Just opening up just a little bit. I want you to notice the light can fill just a little bit more of your neck right now. Just making it feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more like itself. And as you have that 5-year-old in your heart, I want you to look at your listening. And your ability to listen and to hear. And I want you to notice, do you jump in to say things? Do you need to interrupt? Or do you not want to take the power away from anybody? Do you want to let everybody else shine but yourself? What kind of things are important to you? Do you want to be up on stage? Do people need to hear what you have to say? Do you miss being up on stage? Is it something you've always wanted to get back to? Do you feel the need to write a book with a ghostwriter? Are we afraid of being judged? Are we telling the truth? Are we gossiping? Are our words kind? Do we stutter? What is my truth? I want you to ask yourself that. What is the purpose I'm here? And I want you to, for a moment, if you're not getting an answer, I want you to picture your spirit animal. You don't need to know what it is. Just ask your spirit animal to come forward. And just notice who comes out. Maybe an animal you've seen before, maybe something totally random. You may not know what their truth is or what their meaning is, but we will. Just ask for their truth right now. Ask them to tell you. And ask your inner child that's inside if there's anything else that they need. Is there anything that they need you to hear? And I want you to, for a few moments, think about some of the lies you've told yourself. And just get into your breath, taking a few nice deep breaths. Ask yourself what the truth really means to you. Maybe it was something that was always hidden from you. Maybe you're still not sure if people are telling the truth. And what is the truth? And I want you to, for a moment now, ask if there's any more blocks in your throat chakra. Perhaps even ask your spirit animal, what is blocking me from speaking my truth? What is blocking my throat chakra right now? Just ask yourself. And just focus on your breath. Taking a few nice deep breaths in, we're going to release with a hum. And I want you to just meditate on this for just a couple of minutes. When we take the breath in, it's just going to be a nice deep breath in. And on the breath out, you're just going to allow the sounds, whatever sounds come. Hum. I want you guys to allow that vibration through your head, just breathing, just allowing yourself to feel it. Keep humming with every breath out. Using different tones, trying lower, whatever feels good for you. Try and feel that vibration in your head. Allow your tongue to relax. Allow your face to relax. All those muscles around your eyes. In behind your eyes. Um, You can make different sounds. If you want to get to the mouth more, you can even use ham instead of Ham. Play with those sounds a little bit. Allow that to move through. Just feeling that inside. And just allowing that until you feel like you want to stop humming. And I just encourage you to take a few more deep breaths as you just allow anything to be moving through. As we just examine the fullest expression of ourselves, allowing the ether to maybe tell you what those blocks are. And I want you to imagine right now that inside your throat, you have this big, beautiful 16-point Merkaba that's just starting to spin like a beautiful wheel inside of your throat. I just feel some beautiful things clearing here. I'm just invoking some of the sacred geometry and just allowing some energy work to just help move any of this stuff through here. Just for balance, for clearing. And just taking those nice deep breaths and just allowing that blue color, that blue Merkaba to start just spinning so fast inside the throat, so fast that you actually can't even see it spin anymore. It's just like dust. And it's just beautiful, just lighting up that whole area, sprinkling light like liquid lava, just falling out and spilling around, just balancing out that whole throat chakra. Focusing on that breath, breathing in, filling that throat, filling that chest, filling that diaphragm, and breathing out with a moan. Oh. And feeling that light start to just spread down. As it starts to really spin, it's balancing the rest of the energy centers. And we're just going to notice getting a bit of a green coloration down into the chest and the arms and the shoulders. Allowing that heart chakra to start to balance. Whew. And feeling that light move into a sunshine yellow down into the belly, into the upper abdomen. Allowing that light to just fill your whole solar plexus. It's beautiful. Feeling the whole body start to lighten up. Opening down into the second chakra. Our sacral plexus, moving through all those big emotions. The sexual energy. And down into the root, and feeling the bottom of your body, whether it's your feet or your bum just resting on the ground somehow, just connecting with the ground, just absorbing Earth's energy, grounding you right down into Mother Earth, just feeling that strength of that dark red, feeling the pelvis. It's beautiful. And feeling that in and out exchange with the earth of grounding energy and light energy all at the same time. And as we have that whole bottom of our body right down to our tiny little toes, I want you to just imagine your body feeling completely light as you notice that blue color of the throat chakra just getting brighter and brighter as it starts to fill up into that third eye. As you feel the pressure start to come into your face, into across the bridge of your nose, and up through the crown, just like a beautiful sphere, just completely embracing you in beautiful blue light. Feel that beautiful bubble about an inch from your skin, away from your neck. I want you to just focus on the neck right now and how it feels light, as if someone was right behind it about to just touch it. Just gently with their fingertips, just a tickle. I want you to feel that open up the whole energy center around the neck, just like a magic touch. And as we take a few nice deep breaths in and out, we're just going to feel ourselves ground to Mother Earth. And allow that lightness to stay as we gently open our eyes and come back to. I just want you to feel that light moving through the jaw and the face, just like it's just sparkling and lighting everything up. I don't know if it's just me, but I can feel just like stuff in the face. It feels like there's just, okay, I want to massage everybody's face right now. Just want to give, wouldn't that be nice? Just have a beautiful face massage. I used to love using hot stones. Have like room temperature stone and little hot stones, and you would just take them and just draw them along the sinuses, and it's just, oh, it feels so good. So that felt really gentle and light. I'm hoping that you guys were able to not hear my family, which I did have to mute and yell at, so I'm apologizing for that. My husband came down and started moving furniture, so I had to put it on mute for a second. I hope that didn't interrupt anybody too much. Would anybody care to share? How did you guys do for that?
It was very light this time, wasn't it?
It was. It was. It was interesting. I felt like it was going to be kind of heavy, but it was like light and opening, like I think the enlightenment came out of it rather than the sadness and the, like that's how it felt to me anyways. Are you cool now, Jessie?
Oh, it's raining and cold here today, and I was under the covers in the bed.
Oh, good for you. It's always bittersweet kind of getting up after a little meditation like that. I love I have to figure out how to have music with certain chakra, because I love the music for the throat one. Like it really does help to kind of get things moving a little bit more. I feel like that's the one thing that I miss with the throat chakra, doing it on Zoom versus doing it in person, because in person it's pretty cool because I can take my hands and put them around so they're feeling what I'm trying to sort of portray. So it's interesting doing this just via online to try and get the same bodily responses, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. So I appreciate your guys's feedback just on how you did with that, how your throat feels now. It's interesting, right? Because it's, if we're going to get sick, it all gets caught in the throat. If we're going to get, that's where the germs all sort of magnify. So even when we're using oils, we always say put it on the throat and do it every hour so that you catch it really at the source, right? So when we think about that throat that's caught everything coming in and out of our mouths, our minds, our bodies over the last 40, 50, 60 years, it can be a pretty heavy meditation, but I felt like that was just sort of nice and light, and it was just more truths that wanted to come out rather than holding on to resentments from things like that. So it was interesting. It was an interesting feel. So yeah, anybody else, feel free to share. Pop yourself off mute. I might have muted you by accident while I was doing it, just to have no noise in the background, because I was making you guys groan and make all sorts of weird noises. So figured I'd be kind and have it on mute so you didn't have to do it out loud. How did you do, Sabrina, since you're in front of me in the middle there?
Good. I think I yawned more, like I was yawning, and I don't know. I yawn anyway when I'm doing breath work. Like it almost always interrupts my path or the count pattern. I have to stop and yawn, but I yawned more, I think, because it was just all throat focused.
Yep.
Like it had no either. It was just kind of like this yawning just kind of kept showing up, but it was a beautiful meditation. That was so well received. No. I'm so ready for facial now. Like you're like putting stones. Like, oh,
right. Like I just want to come rub it. Oh, that'd be just so, because that's what I'd normally do, like in a session, right? Like you'd have a little bit of some stones, and so it's just like, oh, it needs that. It'd be so nice right now. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. It's just beautiful. I love being able to do this on Friday nights. I feel so grateful just to be able to do this. And, I couldn't do it without you guys showing up to listen and to enjoy and to meditate with me. It means so much. It's huge. I can't wait. Like Sabrina, I'll come do some breath work, girl. Like I feel like that's a calling for you, like it's huge now that doing this stuff, like it all kind of coming together. Those little pieces are missing from some of this work. It's huge, and you understand it really well. I know. I'd be there in a second. Totally. How did you do, Kim?
Well, Jackie, I think, well, I know that I trust you implicitly and wholly. So when I put my mask on and I was doing the neck thing, that's the last thing I remember before you just asking how everybody was doing. So I'm going to need a replay so that I can do the breath that I was all ready to start humming and doing all the stuff, but I checked out. So I'm going to need a replay so I can actively do that as well. I know that from my past my past meditations with Paul Santisi, doing some of that breath work with the humming and opening that up too. And it was really resonating when you were talking about as a child, my father used to not let us cry. He would say, stop that crying unless, I give you a reason to cry. So you'd swallow it, right? So I really was really excited to remove some of that. When I was feeling it, it felt really muddy and thick and heavy. And so I feel a big shift. I just, so whatever you
don't know what happened.
Beautifully, I don't know what it is, but it worked. So thank you. You are such a blessing, Jackie. You are such a blessing.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank you, Kim. That's so sweet. That's beautiful. Yeah, it came especially in the field there, it was really strong, like with things, it was like there were stories not told to to like, it was like you weren't told things, and I don't know who it was, but it was to protect, like they meant to protect you, but kept you completely in the dark about things that you should have been able to know, right? Like that's, I just kept getting these images of just yeah, not it was it was viewed as lying, but it was for protection that you weren't told these things, right? It was interesting. There was lots of that kind of stuff floating around in the field. It was pretty wild. How about you, Nikki? How did you do down there? Were you okay?
I'm doing very well.
Awesome. You
I'm-
look very well.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it. You're so beautiful.
Thank
You
so
guys are amazing. How about Samara? Did you want? Oh, I was gonna just bug Gabby, and she hopped off there at the end. I'm just calling you guys out now. I love it. How'd you do, Samara?
Oh, very good. Yeah, I was having a lot of trouble with that spot in my shoulder that goes up into my neck on my left side that hurts. But the toning was, the humming, it was so good. I had to bring in the heart ohms to connect it. Like it wasn't until I started going back and forth between the two that it felt really, then it was expanding. And I really noticed that initially doing the ham, well, I mean, I even hear it in myself right now. There's a crackling, like I feel a crack, but I have COPD because I'm a former smoker, too.
Okay.
So, but as I got towards the end, it's cleared. The crackling just disappeared. And it was the in both was very clear and very good. And yeah,
I
wonderful.
love it.
Thank you so much,
Love
Jack.
it. Oh gosh, you're so welcome. It's my pleasure. How about Heather or Robin? Did you guys want to share it all? Oh, thanks, Robin. That's awesome. It was great to have you. I was just going to pull out my spirit cards. If you guys had a spirit animal that came to you, I can check out which one it was. So feel free to message me even if you want, and I can always tell you your what your spirit animal is. Did anyone have a spirit animal visit them?
Yeah, mine's a mountain lion, has been for many years.
It was, hey?
Yep, that's my baby.
That's
Now, how
so
would you know,
cool.
Jackie?
What's that, love?
How would you know? Because I didn't.
It's so weird. It's kind of like all of a sudden, if you just kind of ask for a spirit animal, something will just pop out. Like you'll see a dolphin pop out for whatever reason, or you'll see a horse will, or your dog, or things like that. Or sometimes it's an eagle or a beaver or a hedgehog, or like you'll just see the weirdest critters just sort of appear, and it's literally kind of like your psyche or your superconscious kind of talking to you per se. For some people, if I ask, if we're doing meditation and I feel like they don't know, I'll often call on a spirit animal, because things will pop up, like with the throat chakra, for example, turtles pop up all the time. And turtles are the animal of truth, and they have the 7 teachings and all this kind of stuff. So we kind of look at Aboriginal wise, there's all these stories about animals and the 7 teachings and the teachings of the animals. So depending on what the animal is, sometimes you end up getting some really cool insight to things. So yeah, we can we could definitely do that. Do you remember last time we did it? It was the dog that had come out for you. Remember we were doing, I don't know why I pulled out my spirit cards. Yeah, and so I just kind of like did I don't know why, for whatever reason, I just did a random sort of card pull. Whoa, one just flew out. The peacock and the penguin just flew out. So the penguin, the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. And the peacock is let yourself stand out and finally be noticed. Isn't that beautiful? I think those are like our evening cards, right? Because like everybody was just like, whoa, time for a shift here. It's funny, mountain lion isn't one of my spirit cards per se, but there's like cheetah and that kind of stuff. But it's with sometimes with mountain lions and cats and panthers and stuff like that, there's like secrets underneath. There's a mystical side, that kind of stuff that can come out with lions. But often strength is usually what is associated with them.
Yeah.
And solitude, you know, that kind of thing sort of pops out with the cats. Yeah.
And knowing when to pounce.
Right.
And
Yeah, exactly. Right.
having a lot of patience.
This is very true. I have a bunch of, this is my animal speak
Oh, I
book.
use
This is a really,
animal speak too. And the
you have
mountain
that one
lion
too?
is animal speak, yeah.
It is. That's what I was going to say. It's not, that
Yeah,
one isn't
it
in
is.
my, I'm just looking for polar bear too, because it's in this one as well.
Oh, really? Polar bear.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
Where is it? I keep on pulling up opossum for some reason. That's funny.
I love opossums.
They are
really-
so cool, aren't they?
Are cool. They're so cute. They really are.
Oh no, polar bear isn't in this one. It isn't. I'll have to look that one up.
What's the
funny.
possum stand for?
What was that? Sorry.
What's the possum stand for?
The opossum, that one was, it was,
It'll be nocturnal, that's for sure.
no, it's the cycle of spring.
Is it? Wow.
Yes. Yes.
That's surprising, but
And strategy. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Because they can play dead and put themselves in a self-induced state of shock. That's funny. That's too cute. Yeah, it's not that you, and sometimes when we try and think about it, it doesn't come, but you'll end up being outside and you'll just notice a bird all of a sudden, like a different red bird than you normally wouldn't see, or an eagle will fly by all of a sudden. And that can be a bit of a spirit animal too. It'll be, or you'll be driving and you'll see a fox all of a sudden, or something kind of maybe out of character, but not necessarily odd. And it'll just kind of trigger you. And oftentimes they have little lessons. So then you can just have fun with your phone and just Google, you know, polar bear meaning kind of thing, or not that you're going to see a polar bear in Australia, but you can even spiders and snakes and all that kind of stuff. They actually all sort of mean things, right? So you can kind of have fun with that. It's just a nice way to sort of get oh, blue jays are always so beautiful to have. And they're funny because they're sort of like, they're really beautiful birds, but they're kind of assholes, eh? They like to pick on the rest of the birds. They like to steal the good food and just knock all the rest of the stuff down. And they're they're quite funny. They do. But they often remind us of like you know, a father figure, or they're often sort of connected to someone that's passed, I've heard too. So Sabrina, what a beautiful dog.
What a beautiful dog. Look at it.
It's funny that you say that it because I always told my mom, she used to always be mad at me because I always said Blue Jays were my favorite and she hated the Blue Jays. So I always said, good, then when after you go, when you want to come see me, come as a Blue Jay because you know I'm going to notice you. So now that you mention it,
Oh, isn't that funny? Oh, that
now
was
that you mention
her.
it, yes, now
I
that you
love
mention
that.
it, it was.
That's
Yes.
so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh, I love it.
Mm.
Awesome. Well, I have kept you guys late and I so appreciate you spending this time with me. Thank you. Thank you. Next week, I'm going to
Thank
do a
you.
couple more. Oh, my pleasure. We got the third eye and the crown chakra to get through, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm looking forward for the next couple of weeks, and I will hopefully see you guys before then. Love you so much. Thank you. Mwah.
Okay.
Have a
Bye.
great weekend. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.